Okay, well, welcome to How to Get Probate Listings, Week 3. Just a quick overview of our system. This is basically the entire system on one screen. You gather the leads, sort out the best leads, enter them into your contact records management system, send out mail, call them, and repeat at least 3 times. Okay, you have to do at least 3. Some of my most successful coaching members are doing it 9 times, once a month for 9 months. After the 9th month, they just go in their general database, and then most people have someone check to see if that address is sold after the 9th month. If it hasn't, they'll put them in their regular drip follow-up system. Just send them a monthly newsletter, just listed, just sold cards. Quick question from Joanne. I cannot take the notes fast enough. Are you going to make the notes available to us? Yes, I'm going to convert all of the slides, week 1, week 2, week 3, into a printable PDF. So you'll be able to just print the whole thing out. But take as many notes as you can. I'll try to slow down the pace a little bit. We have an hour, and I think I've got about 35 slides to cover. But we shouldn't have a problem. All right, so first and most important, we have to gather the leads. There's 2 ways to get them, either directly from the courthouse, so you actually find out where probate cases are tried or held in your state, your county. Easiest way to do that is just Google probate court in the name of your county. If you're in a really large county like Maricopa County, Arizona, there are actually 4 different locations here within a 30-minute drive of me where they have probate cases. In some smaller counties, like where I have my real estate office for years, it's at the Superior County Courthouse. So for instance, my brother does business in Lafayette County. He would go to the Lafayette County Courthouse. Some courthouses allow you to access this information online. Others only allow you to access it online once you have a case number, and some don't let you allow it to access it online at all. So if that's the case, you'd have to go straight to the courthouse. As I demonstrated last week, I like to get them from an online legal publication, and I sent out that web address to everyone and also posted it on our Facebook page. But it's a online legal publication where they have to post legal notice of probate to let creditors know that they have a chance to come forward if they're owed money from the estate. Or you can pay for them, which I have tried several different companies and had no success. So please don't ask me which of the companies I recommend to buy them from. At this point, I don't recommend any of them. If you find one that you really like, you're welcome to send it to me. I'll take a look at it. But at this point, I haven't found one yet that can produce reliable results. This is where I track down all my leads. It's publicnoticeads.com. They have all 50 states. So publicnoticeads.com. It's free. If you want to pay a little bit of money, you can have them delivered to your email address, so you don't even have to go online to do it. They'll just deliver them to you automatically. I just do the free version once a week. Go in, I search for petition to probate or letters of testamentary, and take down all the information. Now, so what you need is, so you search petition to probate or letters of testamentary. You find the decedent's name, you search your county records to see if they own real estate. If they own real estate, you need to find the personal representative. That's the person in charge of liquidating the estate. The hardest part is getting the personal representative's mailing address. That's the only thing that we struggle with. The surefire way to do that is while you're on publicnoticeads.com and you found that petition to probate, you found that the decedent owns real property, and you've taken down the decedent's name the address of the real property, the name of the personal representative, and the case number. The easiest way or the most surefire way to get the personal representative's contact information is to visit the courthouse. Some of my coaching students have also had success with paid subscriptions to Spokio or Intellius. These are database for public information. So for about $9.95 a month, for the first month, $19.95 a month. After that, you can get Intellius Premier and do an unlimited number of searches on the personal representative's name. You can also alternatively try Spokio. It's like $4.95 a month for an unlimited number of searches. Try Google, try Facebook. If you have to, your courthouse. Some courthouses, like mine, Maricopa County, doesn't allow anything on probate cases online, but others, and some of my other coaching members have had success. If they have the case number, they can go online and get the information. But like myself, I'd have to physically go down there to get it. If it's a good enough lead, it's worth having somebody go down and do it for me. You don't have to do it yourself. You can send someone down to get it. You don't send them down with one, you send them down with a dozen. So if you got to visit the courthouse, it's either your county superior court or its own probate court. You talk to the county clerk. If you don't already have case numbers, you can ask them for a list of all the new probate cases for the week. Once again, you're looking for the filings, either petition to probate or letters of testamentary. This is the formal beginning of the probate process. Some states call letters of testamentary letters of administration or letters of representation. So it's either letters of testamentary, letters of administration, or letters of representation. And this is where they have confirmed the personal representative and given them authority to liquidate the estate. Once again, you want to get the case number, name of the decedent, name of the personal representative or administrator, and their contact information, address, telephone number, email address, if possible. The best leads, or the leads I like the most, are decedents that have a will. So if they have a will, they're going to have an executor. In some states, it's called personal representative. If they don't have a will, they'll get a court-appointed administrator. In some cases, this court-appointed administrator will be a relative. In a few cases, it will be an attorney or a professional administrator. Those are not my favorite. My favorite are decedents with a will. But keep in mind, there's about 50,000 probate cases a year here. If you're in Florida, where there's almost 100,000 a year, you can be picky. If you're in a smaller area, you just want to take all of them, regardless of whether or not they died testate or intestate. Now in the beginning, I called all of the leads, mailed them all. Now I have specific letters that I send depending on the type of lead. This isn't necessary if you're only getting a dozen leads a week. If you're getting 100 and you can afford to be picky, you can search through and choose, pick and choose. You know, in the beginning, when you're first starting out, you probably just want to take them all. But I sort through them and I keep the leads only where they have real property in my area. That's important. And because there's so many, I only keep the ones where the executor is out of state. The executor or personal representative is out of state. If you're getting less than 100 leads a week, then you probably don't need to do that. You'd probably just take them all. Now, if there's a decedent with a will, they own real estate, and their surviving spouse is the administrator or personal representative, that's a lower quality lead to me. That tells me they most likely won't be moving as quickly. Although they certainly do move, they don't move as quickly. But there's also a good chance that the spouse knows a local agent. This is not a bad lead, but when you have so many to choose from, in my area, this gets tossed. If you're in an area where there are fewer probate cases, you might choose to keep these leads, track them, and determine what the closing percentage is for you. So once you have the leads, this is real important. The leads need to go into a contact records management program. This is a software system, either the one that resides on your desktop or it's in the cloud. Almost all of them are in the cloud now. A good example is Top Producer. I used it for years. In fact, I used it when it was called Agent 2000. I think that was a branded version from Realty Executives from my first brokerage. Then after that, we just paid for it on our own. It was called Top Producer. I think right now they have an introductory membership. I think it's about $20 a month. You want to have a CRM. I'm not a real fan of company provided CRMs. I mean, I don't know anything about your brokerage specifically, but some of the brokerages actually own the data. So if you use your broker CRM, your broker actually owns all of that information. I'd rather pay $20, $29 a month and have my own and not have anyone else have access to my data. And if it's on the cloud, if you choose to have a VA, a virtual assistant, help you at some point in time, you can just pay an additional access fee, and that virtual assistant can access your records from anywhere in the world. Now, the reason you want a CRM is because you're going to be keeping track of dozens, if not hundreds of leads, and you're going to be mailing them a sequence of letters. Most CRMs call this an action plan. And so you set up the action plan first. For instance, in Top Producer, you would call this a probate listing prospect action plan, and you will load in activities that begin and letters and calls. These are just reminders to tell you to do something at intervals, predetermined intervals. So you build the plan first, and then every time you put a new lead in and tag that lead as a probate listing prospect, the computer will remind you when it's time to send letter number 1, make call number 1, send letter number 2, email your VA to look up the personal representative's information, remind you to send letter 3, remind you to send letter 4, remind you to check the MLS and see if that address is sold. So it helps you stay organized when you're dealing with a large number of leads. If you want to sell more than a half dozen or a dozen houses a year, you definitely need to make this investment for yourself. So you set the action plan up first, and then every time you enter a lead, when you come into the office and you turn on your computer, it reminds you of what you have to do for that day. Now, I'm going to give you 4 letters today, and the theory is you'll put these 4 letters into your action plan, but you're also going to put 4 calls. So the action plan will look like day 1, send letter number 1. Day 7, find telephone number for personal representative. Call personal representative. Day 30, mail letter number 2. Day 37, second call. Day 60, you get the point. Every 30 days, a letter. 7 days after the letter, a phone call. We found that we have very little success if we mail fewer than 3 times. And the reason is, even though the letters that I'm going to give you are designed to get a 90% better response rate than anything anyone is sending out now, so you're going to be way ahead of your competition at that point, you still a process you have to go through because this person is not able to sell the property during the first 30 days. So when they become a lead, when they file a petition to probate, they do not yet have the authority to sell the property. It takes between 30 and 90 days in most cases. Some states are even slower. So we want to take that first 90 days and build a relationship with them. We want to build authority for ourselves, and we want to get some reciprocity, or we want to build some reciprocity. We're going to talk about how we do that. Most agents who get into probate and start prospecting give up after the first mailing. I have found that the investors who are successful, and these are the franchised investors like Home Investors and We Buy Ugly Houses, they're mailing 3 times. Same letter, but hey, we want to buy your house for 50 cents on the dollar. We found it takes about 3 months from filing the petition to when the personal representative receives okay to start selling property. I'm going to give you 4 letters. You want to mail 1 per month in sequence, and the letters are written in a certain way, and we're going to go over them. But it's really important because first letter you send is really just an introduction that positions yourself as a specialist in probate real estate. So it gives you authority. You don't ask for anything. It's a positioning letter, positions you as an authority on selling probate real estate. You offer to be a resource should they have questions. You give them an envelope that's addressed by hand and includes something in it, the blue ink and the pen. This is designed to get them to open the envelope. But more than that, the pen, and we're going to talk about this a little more, is designed once again to create authority and reciprocity. It's a gift. Second letter, once again, we're offering more service. We confirm to a competent lawn care company, locksmith, handyman, estate sale company, etc. Third letter, fourth letter, I'm going to go through each letter and show you exactly what they get and what the letter should look like. This is mailer number 1. And once again, it's important what the outside looks like. If you don't put the effort into the exterior, you're not going to get to the interior. So we want to send them, and I use these express mail envelopes. I'm going to show you where you can buy them. They're about 50 cents a piece when you buy them in bulk. I hand address the letter. The letter comes from my assistant. There's been some, I think Alex mentioned it to me, there's been some tests done, and tests have shown that if the return address lists the name of a woman sender, there's a higher percentage of actual response. I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, but we're going to give it a try here at my office. So a woman sender, doesn't say from Frank Patrick, says from Diana Patrick. Hand address it. Studies have proven that lumpy mail is 90% more likely to be opened. So there's something inside. And this is something we were taught as children, right? You buy the cereal that has the prize inside. I can still remember, you know, my mom would get us 1 box of cereal a week. She didn't like us eating junk food, but she'd allow us to have 1 box a week. We would immediately go home and dump the whole thing out, usually in a bowl, sometimes just on the table, to get the prize inside, right? So people are curious, and if there's something in the envelope, they will tear it open. If the object is intriguing enough, they'll read the letter. So what's inside? A letter and a pen. And we're gonna actually read this letter together, because this letter is the most important letter that you send, because this letter sets the stage and begins the relationship that you're trying to build with the personal representative. But this first letter is on plain white paper. I printed on a color printer. So in the PS, there's when I talk about the blue pen, I want the word blue to print out in blue. If possible, this is really cool. It's hand addressed. It's an express envelope, and you can get this envelope at expressenvelopes.com, and they're around 50 cents a piece if you buy them in bulk. If you buy 10 of them, you're going to pay $1 a piece. If you buy 100 or more, price is going to go way down. So in the beginning, you may not have the budget to buy 100 envelopes and 100 pens. You know, maybe you buy 50. Your price per lead is going to be slightly higher. We also include a blue ink pen. The blue ink pen has your name and telephone number on it and the words probate specialist. Once again, this is positioning. And I get those at amsterdamprinting.com. Once again, all these links will be posted on the Facebook page, as will the slides from today's presentation. So I'm going to convert them to a PDF, send them over to you. You can print them out. The theory of including the pen. First of all, it gets the envelope opened 90% of the time. Without the PIN, between 3 and 10% of the time the letter will get opened. With the PIN, 90%. You have to ask yourself, is it worth spending $1 to give away a PIN to get 90% of the people to open the letter, or do you just want to send the letters out and accept a 3% or 10% open rate? It's a tremendous difference. Tremendous difference. It's not, I mean, it's for $1. You're spending $1 on the envelope and postage to get it out there anyways, and you're going through effort to do this. Send the PIN. The gift also creates reciprocity, and reciprocity is important. I read a book by Robert Cialdini, which is where I got the idea for this. I'll post the book on the Facebook page, the link, so you can get it. I think it's probably one of the most important books I've ever purchased and read, and has led to a lot of the success that I've had with direct mail and direct advertising. But it creates a sense of reciprocity. It makes the person feel indebted to you. Okay, makes them feel indebted to you, and it makes it easier for them to say yes to me later. At the bottom of the letter, under PS, it says, "You're probably wondering why I included a pen with this letter. Well, it's not just any ordinary pen, it's a blue ink pen. And this blue ink pen will save you time and frustration as you carry out your duties as the estate administrator. A long time ago, an attorney I worked with gave me one just like it and taught me a valuable time-saving lesson. If you always sign important legal documents with blue ink, it'll make it easy for you to distinguish between originals, which often need to be recorded, and copies, which need to be retained for your files and disseminated to heirs." So this demonstrates my specialized knowledge, and this shows them how my specialized knowledge can help them save time and avoid mistakes. This creates authority and reciprocity. I've just given them an object, a gift, and demonstrated my specialized knowledge, which is going to allow them to save time and avoid mistakes. This goes into their brain, into their memory, and if it comes down to making a decision between hiring me or a competing agent or their cousin who just got her real estate license last week, this helps them subconsciously say yes to me because I'm obviously the expert. I've demonstrated my specialized knowledge, and I've created reciprocity. The gift creates reciprocity. So here's the letter. And I'll be posting this once again in the Facebook page so you can download it. You want to add a header, right? First of all, you got to be compliant with whatever your local real estate laws are and with whatever your broker's office policy is. So I'm certain it's going to need to have your name and contact information, and most likely the name of your brokerage. I know in some states you have to include your license number, etc. Whatever you're required to include in the header and footer, put it there. If you are required to put it on company letterhead, fine. I don't really like to use company letterhead. I just use my name and the disclosures I'm required to put on there per state law. It says, "Dear," and of course this would be the person's name. "I'm writing to you because you're listed as the personal representative for the estate of," this is the decedent. If you're using Top Producer, when I enter in the lead and tell it to send letter number 1, it'll automatically populate this. So if I've entered the personal representative's name when I put the lead in and the decedent's name, it'll put them where those brackets are. I'm an Arizona real estate broker. If you're an agent, you're an agent. Specialized in listing and selling properties in probate. I was down at the courthouse on Tuesday. If you're not down at the courthouse, you can say I was researching probate records on Tuesday to review all the new probate cases involving real estate. Came across your filing. From my past experience working with probate administrators, and this would be personal representative in this case, I know you might be feeling overwhelmed right now. You see, I understand that handling the real estate is just one small part of all of your duties and responsibilities as a probate, and in this case it would say representative. But here's some good news. I can make your life much easier, no strings attached. It's invaluable for you to have someone here locally you can call on and trust with questions, concerns, and more. Someone who has reputable contacts and service providers when it comes to servicing probate properties. Someone who knows what to do and when to do it. I know those things. It's what I do, and I want to help you. If you have any questions concerning the real estate involved in the estate, feel free to contact me. Or if you find you need a probate attorney here in AZ, I can refer you to one of the best I've worked with in the past for a free initial telephone consultation. Looking forward to hearing from you, Frank Patrick. Never did I ask for the listing or tell them I want to sell their house or tell them I have a buyer for the house or tell them that the market's hot. I didn't tell them I sell properties in 7 days for 127% of their value. I didn't tell them about my balloon or my billboard or the car that's wrapped or my TV commercials or any of that other crap. This first letter is simply about positioning yourself as an authority, demonstrating your specific knowledge, and creating reciprocity. So there's 2 gifts here. One gift is the pen, the blue ink pen that's included, and it's talked about in the PS. The second gift is, if they don't have an attorney, I can refer them to one who will give them a free initial consultation. Okay. This is easy to find. Just go online, take down the name and telephone number of a half a dozen probate attorneys in your area, give them a call and ask them if they do free initial telephone consultations. And if they say yes, tell them who you are, what you do, and that you'd like to stop by the office and meet them and get some of their cards so you can give it out to people that you meet who are probating a will and don't have an attorney. They'll be more than happy to see you. So this is letter number 1. You'll be able to download it as a Word doc, edit it. Don't edit it too much. You know, up here, change Arizona. You can change broker. You can change here where it says AZ. But be careful. I've had some people that have edited my letter so much I don't even recognize it anymore. And this letter is proven to work. So just be cautious with your editing. Any questions about letter number 1? What's the name of the Facebook page? Laura, send an email to frank@ariorenegades.com or send me a Facebook request and I'll send you the link. It's a secret Facebook group. You won't be able to find it online. And I'll also post, Joanne, I'll post the name of the book on Facebook. You put the name of the brokerage on the pin if you're required to. If you're required to. We are, so it's on there. Is it best to have no color on the letter except for the word blue? Thank you, Alex. You know, the first letter I find is to be the most professional of the letters I send. After that, I'll often use a very light pastel color for the letter, but white is fine, and it's not necessary to have any other color. I've seen letters like this that have red mixed throughout. It's just too much. We're trying to portray a professional position here. So from Roger. Haven't gotten the previous webinars. Can you email letters? Please email me. I can't get your email address off of here. Send an email to frank@ariorenegades, Roger, and I will gladly do that. I'm going to write your name down. And make sure you get those. Question from Eric. Do you have a custom probate website you incorporate with the letters and contact information? I do not yet. We are working on it. The biggest challenge with websites is it gives the prospect a way to communicate with you without talking to you direct. So it allows people to avoid you. And so until I have one, and I'm working on one and probably will have it within the next 60 days, and you will all be offered an opportunity to clone it. But we're working on a way to make sure that the website reinforces your position of authority and your specialized knowledge, but does not give them enough information where they can exclude you. And that's a tough one. And And we want to make sure that you don't use the website as a crutch for the other activities that are necessary. So if I gave everybody a website up front, a lot of people would just, they'd clone the website and they'd send people, a pin or a refrigerator magnet with the name of their website on it and think that's marketing. So it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger issue than that, but it will be incorporated as part of our ongoing marketing, and you will be offered an opportunity to clone that. I'm also working on a couple other letters. So right now you're going to start out with 4. I'm working on an additional letter. Actually, I'm working on letter number 5. I was working on it yesterday, and I'll be posting that in the Facebook page, so you will get that. I think it's important in the future, but we've done quite well without it. So this is letter number 2. Let me just a visual so you can get an idea of what it looks like. We send a letter. We send the probate timeline, and I would recommend printing the probate timeline in colored paper, not red. So a real light pastel, like a yellow or a tan, a very, very light green. I mean, incredibly light, more of a tinted letter. And then at the top, you can see I'm using a big office clip, and it's colored. Get those at Walmart. It's like $1 for a big box of them. And a refrigerator magnet. Now, I have teased agents for years about sending out refrigerator magnets, but this one has a purpose. We're telling them, stick this probate timeline on your refrigerator with this magnet. Okay, so this is a useful tool for them at this point. This will help guide them through the process. Once again, this demonstrates our specific knowledge and creates authority. It positions us as an expert in probate because we're giving them, here's the timeline, here's what you can expect to happen. And of course that has my name and the name of my brokerage on it. And I'm giving them a magnet because what if they don't have a magnet to stick this on the refrigerator with? I mean, you don't want to assume it. So it's a refrigerator magnet shaped like a little house. They're less than $1. I'm going to show you where to get them. The key is to give them a reason. If you just mail somebody a damn refrigerator magnet, they're likely to stick some other agent's letter up on the refrigerator. But used together. And the reason for this big purple clip is because it makes a giant lump in the envelope. Without it, the envelope is flat because the refrigerator magnet's flat, doesn't have much weight to it, and it's less likely to get opened. So on the letter, either white or a very light pastel color. The probate timeline should definitely be a light color. The letter and the probate timeline are folded in half and put into a hand-addressed A9 envelope. A9 is the size. It's slightly smaller than a 6x9. It allows you to take a standard piece of paper, fold it in half, fits right in the envelope. Postage is slightly less. I get these envelopes at envelopes.com. They have 1 million colors. This one I like to be just a light pastel. Don't send red and try to trick them into believing that this is a Valentine's card or a letter from a loved one. I don't like that. When that happens to me, I feel like I'm tricked. I feel like I've been conned into opening the letter. So just a light pastel color. I don't like green, real dark green either, because it looks like a Christmas card. So I avoid red and green. Any other very light pastel color, and these envelopes are, you get them as cheap as 10 cents a piece if you order them in bulk. The probate timeline, you simply print it out from your office printer, black ink on a real light pastel paper. The clips, the big paper clips, I get them from Office Depot, Office Max, or even Walmart. I like the colored ones. And then the little refrigerator magnet, amsterdamprinting.com. Look under refrigerator magnets, you'll find it. It's a little house. I think in a low quality, or low quantity, I think they're 70 cents. You want the same information on there that you put on your pin. Your name, your brokerage, probate specialist, your phone number. This is letter number 2. Dear personal representative, now once again, this depends on, you have to use the right verbiage, the right term for your area, and you got to be consistent. So if you are in a state that calls the person in charge of liquidating the estate the executor, it will say that on the case when you find the lead, and then you will call them executor in your letters. If it's called an administrator, you will call them an administrator. If it's called a personal representative, you'll refer to them as a personal representative, and be consistent all the way through the letter. You can't change up. So as the executor for the estate of John Doe, you'll complete many tasks under the supervision of the probate court. Probably the largest and most important task will be selling the house at, and this will be the address of the decedent's house as shown in your tax records. When preparing to sell the house, there are many important factors to take into consideration. Is the house empty of personal property? If not, you'll want to get the court's permission to distribute items as per the will. When a specific provision is made in the will in regards to personal property, many families will choose to meet at the property and divide the items as they see fit. Other times, an estate sale is held. All the personal property is sold and the proceeds deposited into the estate's account to be distributed later per the will. Either way, you want to get everything gone before listing the property for sale. Are the utilities on? In most cases, it's much easier to sell the property if the utilities are turned on. Since the property will likely be vacant, you can avoid any chance of a plumbing leak by turning the water onto the property but shutting it off right before it enters the house. This way, if there's a leak, it won't cause damage to the house while it's vacant. Do you have someone to maintain the yard while the house is in the estate before the new owner takes possession? If not, or if you're not in a position to do this yourself, I can refer you to a local contractor that can arrange for lawn care and weekly inspections, minor repairs, etc. Most estate properties are sold in their as-is condition with no repairs made, but occasionally making a few small repairs results in a property selling for a higher price in a shorter period of time. If you're not sure whether to sell the house as is or with repairs, I'd be happy to visit the property, perform a quick visual inspection, and give you my professional opinion. Of course, the service would be free of charge or obligation. That's gift number 2. If I can assist you with preparing the house for sale, feel free to give me a call on my direct line. P.S. I've included a handy probate timeline for this letter. Many executors find it helpful to remind them of important tasks and deadlines. Okay, so 3 gifts: refrigerator magnet, probate timeline, offer of a free visual property inspection. Once again, the theory of the first 3 letters is build a relationship, build reciprocity. See a couple questions come in here. Hey Frank, how do we find out the terminology in our state, whether it's PR, executor, or administrator? Just look up a case. So go search on publicnoticeads.com, find your state, click on it, search petition to probate. You'll pull up a case and you'll see if it's called a personal representative or executor. A personal representative or executor means there was a will. If there's no will, it'll be an administrator. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cough today. All right, so we're up to letter number 3. This is one of my favorite. Letter number 3. If you look at the very bottom, there is a big colorful clip holding what appears to be a $100 bill. The purpose of the clip is create a lump in the letter. That folded over $100 bill is actually a business card, and on the inside of the business card, it is a business card / coupon offering a complimentary broker price opinion, or CMA, comparative market analysis, with a value of $150 or $100. Now, when I was doing BPOs, for a full interior and exterior BPO, I was often paid more than $100, but I like using the value of $100 because you're giving them the $100 coupon and the $100 business card. And most people have a ton of fun with this, handing it to their friends, pretending it's a $100 bill, screwing around. It's pretty cool. So the purpose, once again, the clip is to get the letter opened. The $100 bill is to capture their attention. They open it up. It's a value of $100. It's giving them a free broker price opinion or comparative market analysis, which once again creates reciprocity, positions you as an authority, and demonstrates your specialized knowledge. The letter's on white paper, black ink. It's folded in half in a hand-addressed A9 pastel envelope with first-class postage. Get them at envelopes.com, 10 to 50 cents a piece. So 10 cents to 50 cents a piece. The $100 business card, I get them at dropcards.com. They're about 10 cents a piece. 10 cents a piece. On the inside, your name, your telephone number, offer for a complimentary broker price opinion or comparative market analysis, depending on which terminology you like, which has a perceived value of $100. This helps them determine the value of their property. So here's the letter, the actual letter itself. Once again, you have to put your header and footer in. Dear personal representative, by now I'm sure you've received a letter or two from investors who'd like to buy the property at 123 Main Street for 50 cents on the dollar. While the offer of an all-cash as-is quick close may seem attractive, you could be leaving money on the table. If you decide to sell to an investor, you'd want to expose the house to more than one potential buyer. The most effective way to do this is to list the property with a professional realtor and advertise it on the MLS as an as-is sale. In my experience, this will bring many qualified investors and oftentimes multiple offers. By exposing the property to all potential buyers in the local market, you can expect to sell for a much higher price. If you'd like my professional opinion on the value of the house, please call me at, this is your direct line, not the office line. If you're available, I will meet you at the house, conduct a thorough visual inspection, give you some tips on selling the property quickly for the most money. I'll then go back to my office, complete a comprehensive broker price opinion, and present it to you within 72 hours. A broker price opinion will give you valuable insight on how much the home will sell for in today's market, how long it will take to sell, and what you can do to help. If you don't do broker price opinions or don't want to, call it a CMA. But don't shorten it to CMA. Call it a comparative market analysis report. Not everyone knows what a CMA is. They don't know why they need it. Over the last 15 years, I've completed hundreds of broker price opinions for banks, lenders, and asset management companies, and I'm paid between $100 to $150. In light of the circumstances surrounding the sale of this property, I'm offering you the service at no charge. Let's see. It's from Richard. Can you share a fillable PDF of a BPO form? All of mine are done online now. Yeah, sure. I'll find one. We have one that's it's an old city mortgage form that we use, but I'll get one to you. Certainly, I'll post it on the Facebook group. Let's see. From Roger, RPR provides a very detailed CMA available to NAR members. Very cool. Thank you, Roger. So that's letter number 3. Letter number 4. Letter number 4 is a bit of a repeat. So we are using the fake FedEx envelope. You can also get this in a smaller size. It's a 6x9. It's a little bit cheaper. I just didn't have one laying around. And that allows you to just fold the letter over and put it inside. We're also sending a printout of the executor's duties, a big paper clip, and another refrigerator magnet. Now, why would they need 2 refrigerator magnets? Because I've sent them 2 things I want to stick on the refrigerator. 2 things, 2 8.5 by 11 sheets, both of them printed a light pastel color, both of them with my refrigerator magnet. I want to take up as much real estate as I can on their refrigerator. This reminds them of what their duties are, what the process is. It's not a timeline, but it's a process flow chart. So the letter is on white paper, folded in half in a hand-addressed 6x9 express envelope with first-class postage. These are between 10 and 50 cents a piece. Of course, the refrigerator magnet, but it's clipped to the executor's duty, has your name, telephone number, probate specialist on it. I get those at Amsterdam Printing. They're like 70 cents. Here's the letter. Dear personal representative. Now most of you, you should have two action plans. You'll create one action plan, which is probate listing prospect, and then you'll add in the letters and the calls. Then you'll edit the letters. See, one set of letters will say personal representative or executor, depending upon what your state calls them. Everybody used to call it executor. Now some people call them personal administrators. Then you'll clone that action plan, and the second one will be probate prospect, and just call it admin. This is when someone dies intestate, they're going to have an administrator. They will not have a personal representative. They'll not have an executor. They'll have an administrator. And so that way you can go ahead and just edit all the letters one time. And when you put the leads in, you put the leads in either the action plan you assign to them. There's one or two. One is if they have an executor, personal representative. Action plan number 2 is if they're administrator. Then you don't have to worry about editing the letters. It's been a while since my last letter, so this is sent on the 4th month. By this time, most likely they have had at least 30 days or approval for at least 30 days to list the property. I thought I'd follow up to see if you're close to selling the property at 123 Main Street. If you need help preparing the house for sale, my team and I can assist you. Over the years, we've developed relationships with local service providers that can help you get the house ready to market. If you need a locksmith, an estate sale coordinator, a lawn care company, painter, or handyman, we can help you. If you'd like my professional help determining the value of the house, I'd be happy to schedule a time to conduct a thorough visual inspection of the property and prepare a written comparative market analysis report or broker price opinion, whatever you like to call it. This will give you valuable insight on how much the home will sell for in today's market, how long it will take to sell, and what you can do to help. If I can assist you in any way, feel free to call my direct line. Sincerely, Frank Patrick. There's a PS at the bottom. Just can't see it. I don't have a gift for this one yet, so probably just a $100 card again. We hadn't thought about this. The more I am experimenting, we hadn't included a gift for letter 4, but I'm beginning to think that we're going to probably see a higher response. We test things one at a time. We are now testing gift for letter number 4, but once again, it'll probably be just the card, the $100 fold-over card with the offer of the free market analysis. This also gives them a second card, so if they want to give one away to a friend, they're pretty cool. I mean, I've had a lot of fun with these things. That is letter number 4. So in your action plan, you'll have letter 1, call 1, letter 2, call 2, letter 3, call 3, letter 4, call 4. The call after each letter will double your chances of listing the property. Unfortunately, you'll only find telephone numbers for about 50% of the leads. If you have a number, definitely use it. I get asked for call scripts, and I'm going to show you it, but it's just simple. I mean, you're calling to see if they received the letter. That's it. So you want to call 5 to 7 days after you mail the letter. You just call and ask for the personal representative or administrator by name. You just say, hey, this is Frank Patrick, whatever realty. I was just calling to see if you received my letter. You know, the one with the pin in it, or the one with the $100 bill in it. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's as easy. It's not a cold call. You are now positioned as a person of authority, a person with specialized knowledge, and you've given them gifts. There's reciprocity there. It's not a cold call. Simply ask them if they have any questions for you. Tell them they can call you at any time. On call 3, we ask them if they'd prefer to sell quickly, as is, to an all-cash buyer, or list it in the open market and get full market value with the repairs. On call number 4, we ask again and make sure to ask for an appointment to do a CMA or a BPO. So the calls are really, really, really simple. There's not some elaborate script. You know, I want to make sure that they put a voice to the letters. Let's see what we got here. That's from Richard. I have a few leads where the heirs are just waiting for mom or whomever to die before they sell. Have you had any experience on recommendations or following up with them? Don't want to call and say, hey, did mom die yet? Yeah, you know, I think that would be a whole different series of letters and calls. For that person, I would probably be sending them a list of properties that have sold in the neighborhood in the last, you know, if you want to touch base with them every 30 days, that's what I'd be sending them, a list of properties. So these are people that are not probate leads, or they don't have conservatorship. Sometimes they don't wait till mom passes away. They wait until mom runs out of money, and then the only asset left is the house, and they have to sell it before Medicare will pay for her nursing home stay or acute care. So that's really a different conversation. And you're right, it's a sensitive subject, so I'd be more inclined to send them a list of properties that have recently sold in the neighborhood, send them offers for comparative market analysis, position yourself as someone who has contacts with contractors, lawn care companies, services that you could provide to take care of the house until they decide to sell it. Question from John. Do you have a custom template for the $100 card? I don't see it on the drop card site. No, just on the inside, it just says complimentary broker price opinion, or you can call it comparative market analysis, find out what your home is worth in today's market. So you can use this card for your regular business. You don't have to use this card just for probate, but you know, the card is just, when they open it up in the top, it's for a complimentary, you know, find out what your home is worth, offer of a CMA or broker price opinion, your name, telephone number, broker information. Real simple. Are there any issues with the do not call list? I've never had one. I mean, you're not, at this point, you've already mailed them, you know, you mail them a letter with a gift. Now you're calling to follow up to see if they got the gift. You're not asking for any business. You're not asking, I mean, you know, at that point, I can't imagine having an issue with that. Never had a challenge or a complaint. Okay. So, as I mentioned to you before we got started, this is a simple process. It's not easy because there's multiple steps. So you need a decent understanding of the probate process in your state. That's what we covered the first week. I also recommend that you buy a book that is written for someone who is currently a personal representative, executor, or administrator of an estate. And there's one that's like Probating an Estate for Dummies. So you understand the process that your prospect is going through. You don't need to be an attorney. You just need to understand what your prospect is going through. You need a contact records management system. I recommend Top Producer. It's like 29 bucks a month. You need to be consistent on gathering your leads. So every week, gather new leads, enter them into the CRM, send out your letters, make your calls. In all of your correspondence, you need to come from a position of service before self-interest. Service before self-interest. So many agents are so anxious to get to the prize inside that they dump the box of cereal on the floor, right? You don't want to be that person. You know, you don't want to be an ambulance chaser or a hearse chaser in this point. You don't want to be hanging out at the nursing home giving away your business cards to the family of people who are circling the drain. It's insensitive, right? You need to come from a position of service before self-interest. You're trying to help them. This is a problem that they have, a large task that they have to complete. And you want to persevere. So do not mail one letter and quit. If you're not going to mail 4, don't mail at all. 6% of these leads should turn into listings. The lowest I'd ever seen is 1, and I think that person was sending 1 letter, no calls. 6% conversion is your goal. In most cases, there's no cost at all for a lead, around $2 for a mailing. If you're buying the pens, magnets, clips, envelopes, paper in bulk, it's about $2. The 6x9 envelopes cost considerably less to mail. So if you're going to alter anything, instead of sending the big 9x12 envelope, the big express 9x12 envelope, send everything in the 6x9s. Should be around $18 a lead total ad spend. You're looking at around $1,800 for 100 leads. That should give you around a $3,600 return on investment. Whatever you do, at least go all the way through 4 mailings and 4 calls if possible with 100 leads before you give up. Agents in general have a tendency of giving up at the first slight resistance, which is probably why 99% of them are out of business within 10 years. Give up too easy. Stick in there. You'll see huge returns on this. Even at a 1% conversion, you're looking at $6,000 back on an investment of $1,800. So there's almost no way you could lose money pursuing probate listings. And this doesn't take into consideration any additional business you get once you take the probate listing and now you prospect everyone on the street with just listed cards, just listed calls, door knocking, and when you sell the property, just solds, calls, just sold, door knocking, and buyer leads that you get from having a property listed should be much, much higher. So what to mail after 4 months? A lot of people will just drop them into their overall database and send them just solds, just listeds, you know, your basic generic letter. Hey, are you interested in selling the property at? If you do a monthly newsletter, any seasonal mailings you do, generic, I've got buyers looking in your area letter. And at some point in time, you want to put in your action plan for someone to check the MLS to see if the property is sold, and if so, remove from the database. So there's a possibility that, you know, maybe you're mailing the wrong person, who knows, had the wrong address, nobody read it, whatever, and you don't get the listing. We would remove them after 9 months. So once again, the system is simple, but it's not easy. You have to gather the leads, sort them out, enter them into your CRM, and assign an action plan to them. Send the letters, make the phone calls. I repeat 9 times. So my recommendation is 9 times. At least 1 mailing a month. I've given you the first 4. I'm working on number 5, should have that done soon. And I'll post that in the Facebook group. Do we have any questions? Thank you, Joanne. I'm glad you liked the magnet idea. So if you haven't already done so, please join the Facebook group. Everything we've discussed will be posted there. We've had a tremendous problem getting email delivered with external links and attachments. If you're missing anything, it's on the Facebook page. If you don't have access to the Facebook page, email me at frank@ariorenegades.com and I'll get it sent to you. Keep in mind I'm working on letter 5. I'll post that in the Facebook page. and we are hope to have the website created and completed within the next 30 to 60 days. As soon as that's done, I'll send you a notification. You'll be able to clone it, so you'll be able to get basically make a copy of my website and use it for your own advertising and marketing. Question from Sean: will you eventually be putting out letters 6, 7, 8, or 9? I don't know if we'll go that far to be personalized letters. You know, I would send anything and then send them letter number 4 again. So send them a just sold postcard or a just listed postcard for letter number 5, and then send them letter number 4 again. Then letter number 6 would be your newsletter, or just sold, or a generic I have buyers, or a generic are you interested in selling. Just anything you send them after that point. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the kind words. I look forward to you putting it into action. I can't wait to hear how things go for you. And let's see, Laura Cheney, I will send you the link to the Facebook page today. All right, guys, if there's not any further questions, I'm going to get to work getting everything that I've promised you together and posted to the Facebook page. Once again, if you're missing anything, send me an email, frank@rrrenegades.com. All right, everyone, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.